Ruth from Visit Anchorage, Alaska, who's in our office today with three other people from Alaska who are going to tell us some great things to do in Alaska and why you should visit Alaska this summer, or at least have it on your bucket list. Ruth, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So you spent some time with our staff here talking about Alaska, telling us what's new and exciting in Alaska. It's an amazing destination. I was actually surprised on when you look at the size of Alaska, how enormous it is. And there's so many things to do beyond just Denali National Park.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about Anchorage and what people should expect and do when they're in Anchorage.
All right. Well, Anchorage, I think the number one misconception about Anchorage is that it's just a city. We're actually the gateway to all kinds of Alaska adventures. And there's a lot of really unique, interesting things about Anchorage itself that I think a lot of visitors miss because they don't know about it. So one thing that I think is really cool is we have the largest float plane base in the world, which is amazing, right? And so there's constant activity always happening on Lake Hood, which is this float plane base. One of them being that you can actually take a float plane all the way across the Cook Inlet to see Lake Clark or Katmai National Park, which are the spots where you can really see big grizzly bears in the wild, fishing for salmon, eating roots. And it's you can go right after breakfast and then you're back right after lunch. So it's something really easy to do that's just like bang, bang, and you're back in your comfortable hotel room by the end of the day and had an epic Alaska experience while you're being right in Anchorage.
Yeah, and there's just something about seeing float planes when you can just see that activity in a seaport and the float planes coming in and taking off the water. It's just, and beyond them is just is an incredible experience.
It is.
So what else do you have for us?
So another thing that I think people don't know about us, but I think is really a unique feature, especially in our downtown core, is our flower beds. We are really blessed to have a plethora of flower beds that are planted by our municipality. And the really cool thing about our flower beds, because it sounds like a yawn thing, but we have almost 24 hours of daylight in the middle of our summer, and so our flowers grow to enormous height and huge, the blooms on our flowers are so big, so a lot of people come not expecting to see how much bright color the flowers are in downtown and end up spending hours just taking photos of the really big beautiful blooms in our downtown town square.
And I think that's interesting when you say you can just see how that sun would just make these flowers just like grow to these unbelievable levels.
But dinner plate dahlias.
Yeah, but the amount of light you have there when people travel to Alaska in the summertime, it's just you have so much time to explore.
Exactly, which is another kind of insider tip that when you're coming to Alaska, that you'll remember that your daylight hours are going to fool your body into thinking it's still time to be awake. So remembering to check your watch occasionally to make sure that you're going to bed at a reasonable hour, because you're doing nonstop activity the whole time you're in Alaska. So you need to get enough rest.
Right, for sure. We only have a couple minutes here, so people always think summer in Alaska.
Right.
Winter time though.
Winter is it's such an amazingly beautiful time of year. I think right now at this time of year, which is the very beginning of February, we're back to like a full 8-hour daylight, but it's really beautifully snowy and we get just incredible views of snow-capped mountains. Of course, we have a nice dark night sky, so seeing the aurora is a really popular activity. Skiing, we have all kinds of amazing things, like you can snowmobile to the face of a glacier. You can really get inside glaciers in the wintertime because they're frozen, so doing like ice cave exploration and things like that is a fun activity. So winter, even though most people don't immediately think of Alaska and going there in the winter, it's really just exploded for us, and we have so many things that are fun to do and a lot of activity offerings.
Right, and I think one thing that I've always wanted to do, and anyone who's done it is just raved about it, is dog sledding.
Oh, and the dogs. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. And what's great in the wintertime is that you're actually on snow.
Really?
So you can mush your own sled, which is one of the funnest things. You'd be amazed at how fast dogs can actually pull a sled.
Right. Excellent. Well, Ruth, thanks for telling us a little bit about Anchorage.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to our office and educating our staff on the great things that Alaska has to offer. And up next, we're going to talk about a couple of different types of cruises you can take in Alaska.